All right, it says we're live, so I'm just gonna assume we're live. What's up, everybody? It's Edwin and Mickey back for Freestyle Friday episode. I think it's episode 8.
I don't know what it is.
Anyways, Jose's a little under the weather, so he's not gonna join us today. So it's just gonna be Michelle and I kind of running solo. JoJo's Comics, he's first. What's up, JoJo? We're kind of just doing this at a different time slot. I just wanted to experiment a little bit just to see how it all works out. So this is just gonna be a short Freestyle Friday. I'm not really too prepared. I'm not even gonna do any free giveaways today. Reason being is because I've been so busy, I haven't really gotten everything together. But I will come back with the free giveaways next week, and we might even do some raffles. So we'll see how that works out. I got a bunch of slabs in this week, so yeah, we're just gonna do that and see what's going on. I will recommend that you guys go ahead and check out my Instagram at Strictly Comics, so you can see some of the slabs that I've already started posting. I've already got one sold. I think I sold that within like 30 minutes or something, so that was really cool. Yeah, so but check us out over there. Also, you can check us out on JLS Comics, Common Conversation every Thursday with Jesse, Justin, and Boston Chris. And go ahead and check out Jose's channel, Comics and Stuff. He's doing a lot of things over there. We got Exile State in the chat. What's up, Justin? Got Captain Jenks. What's up, man? Comic Book Brother. What's up, bro? And Taco Dan is in the house.
What up, Taco?
So anyways, just wanted to kind of give those plugs. You got any thoughts or shout outs or anything before we roll into this?
Ain't got nobody on here. I don't know anybody. What's up with Taco Dan? You're the only one I met one time. Hey, how you doing?
We got the
wait.
What?
Cream. Comics rule everything around me. long box, y'all.
I think that's Gomez. I don't think Gomez has joined us yet.
No, it doesn't matter. I'm using it though.
You're gonna use it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so comics rule everything around me. And some of you guys who got about
long box though.
Long box.
Mm-hmm.
Some of you guys that got about 20,000 long boxes in your home. I think that is
disturbing your wives. Your kids can't walk nowhere. They be tripping up on all kinds of long boxes, short boxes. Can't touch anything. Can't read anything. But they're still in your house.
Mm-hmm.
Get it.
It's because when we collect, we don't like to get rid of anything.
Get a storage room, okay? Get a room.
So anyways, we're gonna, if you saw the title of the live chat, we're gonna touch on Black Panther a little bit more, and there's some interesting things that I found out about the money that it's been bringing in. I actually wanted to talk about this before, but never got around to it. I want to kind of compare the Black Panther and the money that's been making already and compare it to the DCEU. Yeah, we're going to go there just a little bit. I don't know how deep and dark this hole is going to get, but we're going to touch on it just to kind of compare the two, because when you look at Black Panther, you are talking about a B or C list character, a character that has never been established in the box office. Nobody really knew anything about it. Same thing with like Ant-Man, Guardians of the Galaxy. Nobody really knew. Nobody really cared until the movie came out, and now all of a sudden everybody's a fan, which I understand. I mean, pretty entertaining, good music, good score on the Guardians of the Galaxy. I don't remember the score with the music with the soundtrack with Ant-Man, but so anyways, we can talk a little bit about that, and then Michelle's she's gonna take off, and then I'm gonna kind of carry the rest of the show, and we're gonna get into some data for comic book sales, because I kind of wanted to touch on that a little bit. So, what's up, Louise? Was that Louise Pagan Ponce?
What?
I don't know how to say his name. It's all one word. I'm gonna just call you Louise, man. What's up, Louise? What's up, Lord Tatman?
Louise Pagan Ponce?
Ponce? Justin says that the sacks get higher and higher. Yes, they do, man. I got one word. I got 2 words for you, Justin. Garage sale.
Whoop, whoop.
But anyways, so let me go ahead and share my screen. We'll kind of get into this a little bit. Let me see. Okay, so I think the thing I really wanted to talk about was, if you guys can see the screen, you can see right here that Black Panther has already brought in over $520 million domestically. This is kind of a big deal.
Kinda.
Yeah, just a little bit. Like nothing to get all worked up about. Just a little bit.
Nothing.
And I'm gonna go ahead and go on to the next. Actually, now we're gonna start getting into how this compares to the DCEU. And for people who don't know, it's the DC Extended Universe. DC properties, Warner Brothers properties. Rag, come on, Rag, come on through, man. Okay, so anyways, so let me go ahead and go to, let's see here. So here's the first one that I want to compare it to. And when you look at the Man of Steel came out June 14th of 2013. So this movie is almost 5 years old right now. And it only brought in domestically $291 million in its entire, it was in theaters for 14 weeks. Black Panther is on its third week now, and it's at $520 million. So when you look at Man of Steel, it's going to probably get twice as much as Man of Steel did. So not a whole lot. Well, yeah, that is a whole lot, but it's going to get probably twice as much as Man of Steel is going to bring in. And then when you compare it to like Batman versus Superman brought in $330 million and in its entire 12 weeks. So
I remember you didn't like this movie at all.
I don't think a lot of people like this movie.
It was I mean, I thought that.
You remember the movie?
Yeah, I did. I thought that the final fight scene was kind of anticlimactic.
Oh, that's the one where they fought Doomsday at the end and Superman died, right? Spoiler alert.
Yeah, spoiler alert on a 2016 movie. Whoa.
Right.
I'm so upset with you, Edwin.
What's up, Joker M21? How you doing, friend? We're just kind of comparing the Black Panther to the DCEU. Reason being is because DC is just not looking so good, and I think a lot of us want it to look good. I'm not like a Marvel guy or a DC guy. I'm just a comic book guy. I like either or. It doesn't really matter to me. But we're just kind of comparing because I think that this is kind of a slap in face a little bit to DC movie properties because they can't really seem to get it right. But yeah, Marvel can put out almost anybody.
I feel like they're so obsessed with dark movies. That's what it is. I think that DC is more into the darker the movie, the more gritty it is. I mean, there's an audience for that. But and this has been going on for a while. Especially in Hollywood and in the media, it's all about the dark and the gritty and the anti-hero and nobody's a saint kind of situation. But the truth of the matter is that the world is really like that, and nobody wants to go from a really harsh reality and a hard day to come to the movies and watch something else that is also another harsh reality and, to compound on our anxieties. We really want to escape. That's why we come to the movies. I mean, that's in my personal opinion. So to have another movie that is just the same as the reality that you live in is not conducive. And I think that's where, movies like Black Panther get it right, because they kind of want to give people a hope.
Well, I think you're right. I think that DC has been so accustomed to like a darker tone to their films that they don't know how to do anything else, or maybe they haven't really tried anything else. And of course, because they're starting to see what Marvel's been doing, now they're trying to kind of cop Marvel a little bit, kind of put a lighter tone to some of their films. Of course, it's causing hundreds of millions of dollars in reshoots because they're just pretty much trying to copy what Marvel and Disney are doing to try to bring in the audience.
But like when
that.
It comes to, but you can't copy the master of escapism, which is Disney. I just don't think you can beat Disney at their own game. They created it. Like, are you freaking kidding me? I just feel as though that is, it's a it's just, you know, self-harm. You're setting yourself up for failure if you're gonna go down that route.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, so I just definitely think that Disney would be doing themselves. I mean, sorry. DC. I said Disney. My bad. DC would be doing themselves a great disfavor by copying Disney, the land of fantasy. I mean, come on now.
Yeah, they've been doing a good job ever since what, Fantasia?
Yes.
Cinderella way back then. Telling good stories and just making it happen.
Yeah, I mean, telling really fairy tales, really.
Yeah.
Fairy tales.
I guess comic books are kind of like fairy tales too.
Comic books are fairy tales, but when it comes to, for some reason, when it comes to movies, they're not very good at like encapsulating that very same feeling when it comes to that. So
yeah. All right. Yeah. So okay, so there's only a couple more movies we're going to compare this to, and then we'll move on. The other movie I want to compare this to is Justice League. If you look at Justice League, it has already brought in its entire 16 weeks. Okay, so it was in the theater for 16 weeks, and it brought in only $228 million domestically. So
how much did the movie cost though?
That they're not showing the budget, but I want to say I've heard like $250+ million.
So, oh wait, what? $250 million
to make it, yeah. So
and they only made domestic 228.
Yeah, so they lost money, and a lot of people don't know.
Oh, that's bad.
Do you want to explain a little bit?
Yeah, so usually in the movie industry, to break even, you have to make 3 times your cost. So if the budget was 200 million, you need to make 600 million to break even. So a movie's considered doing very well if it made at least 4 to 5 times what it costs to make it.
And let's educate people a little bit about this, because you got your budget, which is 200, let's just say 200 million is your budget. And it costs almost your budget to advertise and promote.
Yeah.
So you're going to, especially those Super Bowl commercials, those are expensive.
Yeah.
You're going to put out teasers. You're going to do all these things to try to create a buzz.
Yeah.
Through mainstream media. But another thing that I actually forgot to take into consideration is the theater actually gets a percentage of ticket sales. So
no, they make only over concessions.
No, they don't. So everything that the theater is bringing in, not 100% of that is actually going towards the production company. Because if you look at what Disney did just recently with Star Wars: The Last Jedi, they made a move to say that they wanted 100%, I think, or something like that, of all ticket sales for the first 4 weeks of Star Wars: The Last Jedi. That was like one of the first times I've ever heard a move like that ever being made. So they kind of pulled that move, and which kind of told me that the theaters were getting something from ticket sales.
Right.
I don't know how much, but they were getting something. So anyways, that being said, the production company has to make at least 3 times its budget just to break even. And if it doesn't do that, then it's not making money. And when you look at a movie like Justice League, it lost money probably. I don't think and if it made anything, it was very, very, very little. So
very little, yep. That's actually kind of sad.
It's very sad.
Oh, wow.
So we'll go to the final.
Wait, let's look at what Wonder Woman made.
No, we're going to get there. I'm just kind of going in chronological order in which the movies came out. This one was Suicide Squad. It actually didn't do too bad. It did $325 million. But all around worldwide, it actually did very, very good. Because if you look at the budget right here, it was 175 million, but look at what it made worldwide.
746.
It made $746 million.
Okay, so they were supposed to make they were supposed to break even like 525 mil, and they only made, but they ended up making 746. So they did good.
Yeah, so they made some money there.
But like, Americans don't trust Hollywood. Domestic grossing at 325 mil. Like, come on now.
Yeah, I don't know what that's all about. That would be interesting to kind of research and figure out what that's all about, because I don't know. 325 mil is almost twice the budget.
They still did not do well. That's if they were going off of only their domestic, gross. That's still not doing very well, because they only made less than half. So, less than double.
Yeah, I don't know. So, well, like I said, we're just kind of comparing a little bit. Just this is actually probably going to be the last time we kind of touch on the Black Panther, because it's just breaking all kinds of records. This is going to be the last comparison, and then I'm going to kind of get to some of the records that the movie's actually broken. This is Wonder Woman, and in its entire 23 weeks in the theaters, it brought in $412 million domestically, and it only had a $149 million budget. It's actually the most successful DCEU film in the past. And they said
girls couldn't do it. They said girls couldn't do it.
Well, I don't know if it's like that the girls can do it. I think that it was a good story, and
but there are a lot of Wonder Woman fans, like legit. Like, I know girls who are non-comic book reading girls who are like, yeah, Wonder Woman. Like, they genuinely do love it.
Okay, from a guy's perspective, here's what I got from the film. I thought that the special effects were really good.
Yeah,
because the special effects were really good in the film. I thought the story was really good, and it was just a really good setup movie all around for the character. Because in Batman versus Superman, you saw Wonder Woman, but she was kind of a mystery a little bit. She didn't really pop up until the end of the film, when they were trying to fight Doomsday.
Right.
And then she kind of popped in and kind of helped kick a little butt. So,
and I just thought that, it was different. It was very different for a movie of its caliber and type to have a leading lady. But let's not say that this is the first time that's happened, because we had Lara Croft, and then we had what's the name of one movie with Scarlett Johansson with her fine ass?
Was it Ghost in the Shell? Is that what you're talking about?
No, that was horrible. Oh no, that's not a DC movie. Never mind. But I'm saying in a leading lady movie. For this one, it was pretty good.
Yeah, the one where she took the pill or whatever.
Yeah, the pill.
Yeah, I forgot. Mm-hmm. Anyways, so just comparatively speaking, it's Black Panther still doing much better than even DCEU's most successful property, which over the past 5 years has been so far Wonder Woman. Mm-hmm. And of course, they've already greenlit a Wonder Woman 2, so we're going to see what that's going to look like.
Yeah,
here in a couple years. So this is really what I want to compare the movie to just a little bit. The reason why I'm bringing up the Black Panther is because here's one of the records that it's broken. It's been the fastest movie to reach 500 million domestically, except Star Wars: The Force Awakens and Star Wars: The Last Jedi.
Well, that's because those are kind of like, they've been established in the market for a long time.
But I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that's really good. Oh, that's really good for a property that nobody really knows anything about. Mm-hmm. To just come up and only be third place behind these two established films for the past 40 years.
But I'm telling you again, there are minorities who probably don't like Star Wars or care for Star Wars that much, who went out and watched Black Panther. That's probably what it was. There was just an untapped market somewhere down there, which they broke it and they brought them to light. It's the same way that Hollywood did not understand how Tyler Perry was grossing so much on his movies.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, it's an untapped market. It's a completely untapped market that people don't know or understand that was there.
Yeah, I can see that. But my point being is just that it was one of the fastest grossing films to reach 500 million in only 3 weeks, and it's only behind Star Wars The Force Awakens and Star Wars The Last Jedi. So that was just pretty impressive to me.
Very.
And I honestly can't, I don't think we'll talk about it anymore in the future, but I'm pretty anxious to see what other records this film is going to break, because I think we can agree that Black Panther is going to definitely cross $1 billion. I think it could even get to where it makes $1.2 billion.
Really?
But how much more beyond that is anyone's guess. So
that would be interesting, though. That would be interesting.
Yeah. So that's it. Do you got any final thoughts about this phenomenon called Black Panther before we wrap this up?
All I gotta say is, don't freeze.
Oh my god!
I had to do it. I couldn't resist it. I couldn't resist it.
All right. Let me stop sharing. God. Do you want to say anything before you head out? Because I know you're getting ready to leave.
Wakanda forever! Wakanda forever! You never freeze. You should never freeze. But remember, Wakanda is always forever.
If I didn't know you were going to do that, I wouldn't have had you. Come on. I'm just playing.
Well, it's too late. It's too late.
All right. So say goodbye.
Bye, peoples. Bye, babe.
All right. Bye.
Love you.
Love you too. Okay. So we're going to get into another topic. I want to thank everybody for joining me. Jose's in the house. What's up, Jose?
Tell me, miss, don't freeze.
Rags in the house. Rag was able to make it by.
Never freeze.
Comic Book Brother says Wakanda forever. Dominic, yeah, that was my wife, man. Go watch my videos, bro. She's been on the past, I don't know, 5 or 6 videos. I can't remember. So I'm going to share my screen. I want to talk a little bit about the comic book sales market. And what I mean by that is DC is not dominating the big screen, but they're actually somewhat dominating the comic book market. And I want to talk about that. I always like to look at data and information when it comes to comic book sales and stuff like that. So I'm going to share my screen again real quick, and then we're going to touch on this a little bit, and then we'll actually wrap this up pretty soon. So this will be a nice short show for everybody. Here is Diamond's industry statistics. Now, I don't really know how to read this too well, but one of the things I am seeing is that it says Marvel Comics was the leading publisher in retail dollar share, and DC Entertainment was the leading publisher in unit shares. So from what it sounds like is that Marvel might make a little bit more money dollar-wise because their books are more expensive than DC, but DC is selling more books than Marvel, and it's not really by a whole lot. Taco Dan wants some slab talk. I'll do a little bit of slab talk here toward the end, Taco Dan, and not a problem, bro. But one of the things I found interesting was that even though Marvel's making a little bit more money because their books are more expensive, DC isn't that far behind. And the reason being, and that's actually DC is only behind by like half a point. Like it's really not even that much. But DC is actually selling more books than Marvel by about 2 1/3% more than Marvel. So I don't really know why Marvel's complaining so much that people don't like diversity or people don't like, you know, all these characters that they're trying to push down our throat, because they're actually still competitively, you know, side by side DC in comic book sales and the retail market share. So And then you kind of go down a little bit here. You can look at these pie graphs, which I always find to be interesting. The dollar share, of course, if you look at this, Marvel is the red, DC is the blue. I mean, come on, man. They're almost equal. And same thing with the unit share, just to kind of give you a visual perspective of the dollar share and unit share of both of the big two. So Marvel really shouldn't be complaining. Maybe it's like maybe they're like a spoiled kid who is so used to being on top and being ahead and dominating everybody else that when somebody else is close or just kind of edging them out, they start to cry and whine. So that's just kind of what I get from that. So so let's kind of go over to Comicron, which I actually think is a really good website. I kind of stumbled across this website probably like 3 or 4 years ago. And it doesn't, update, instantaneously or anything like that. Like for instance, right here is the, okay. Yeah. So I started out in November. So we're already in March, and the earliest monthly comic book sales that I can actually bring up are in January. I don't even think February is available right now, but I could definitely bring up January's. But let's kind of go into November just a little bit, because if you kind of scroll down here, I'm just going to talk about the top 10. I'm not going to talk about, I think this is like the 5, I think there's 500. Is there 500? So it goes to 413, the top 500 or top however many titles are sold each month. Probably every title that they list on here. But anyways, as you can see in the top 10, you got a DC property, Doomsday Clock, another Doomsday Clock, which is, I guess, a lenticular cover and a regular cover. The Batman Who Laughs, Batman Lost, Batman Batman the Devastator. So actually, if you look at this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. In the top 10, DC dominates the first 7 titles, and of course, Batman is their cash cow. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of those titles are going to be Batman titles. Actually, 6 of them, because you got a Batman annual. So DC is killing it in the comic book market right now. As a matter of fact, Marvel only had 2 books in the top 10. One of them was Star Wars. The other one was Captain America number, what is this, 695. So I guess those are good sellers for Marvel. I'm not really sure. But just some interesting information here. DC is dominant. I think in my opinion, DC should stick to their strengths and not be so concerned about catching up with Marvel on the big screen. We've talked about this on Jesse's show, that DC does very, very well with their animation movies. They're putting out at least probably a couple a year. So I think that they should continue to do stuff like that, because you can tell really, really good stories through their animation, and people will buy their stuff, people will watch it, and people will talk about it. So the other month I want to kind of go into is December, and this is December of 2017. Again, we're just looking at the top 10 here, and the top 10, you got Doomsday Clock, you got Dark Knight's Metal, you got another Batman. Actually, Marvel 2-in-1 #1 kind of crept in here, which I think speaks a lot for that title, because I think people are kind of itching for the Fantastic Four a little bit. I always thought Marvel and 2-in-1s were good. I think they should definitely be at least teasing Fantastic Four, because I think a lot of people kind of want to get back into that first family of Marvel, especially with the movies and stuff like that. I think a lot of people are kind of wanting to, get their hands on some Thing and Johnny Storm and even some Mr. Fantastic readings. So, yeah, Rag, I don't know what's up, bro. I don't know. The chat usually is a little more lit, but whatever. Different time. I didn't really prepare or tell anybody. I just kind of just went with it. I meant to do a video Wednesday, didn't get around to it, just to kind of let people know. But it's all good. This is this is a like a Marvel reboot or a DC rebirth. I guess you could say that's what we're doing with the channel here, is kind of rebooting or rebirthing it. So, but anyways, people watch on the rewind too, so it's all good. But you know, again, DC 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Again, they dominate with 6 of their titles in the top 10. Marvel only having 4, which is still pretty good. I know Marvel would like to have, you know, 7 or 8, but they don't. But so yeah, and then we'll go to the last month, which is actually January of this year, which is also pretty interesting. You actually got an Image title in there, which is number 5, but DC actually dominates the top 4 titles of that month, and then Image actually surpasses Marvel. But then again, it's The Walking Dead. We kind of expect that with The Walking Dead because this is January, and if I'm not mistaken, Walking Dead season is actually in full swing at that particular time. So it's kind of to be expected that Walking Dead sales would actually surge a little bit because of the season on AMC. So that's not really a surprise there. And then, of course, Marvel kind of creeps in at number 6, and they have 3 titles in the top 10, with DC still dominating with 6 titles, and then Image having 1 in there. So just some interesting things. I think that, again, going back to DC, they should definitely stick to their strengths. They should definitely continue to focus on their books. I think that what DC is doing right now by having bi-weekly books keeps their stories memorable and fresh, instead of waiting for a whole month to get a different title, because by then, you know, people can lose their focus and their attention and kind of go to a different title, a new title, an indie title, or something else that Marvel might be putting out just for people to gravitate towards, because the bi-weekly thing can get a little bit more pricier compared to like a monthly $4.99 or $5.99 title, but it keeps the stories you know, memorable in this age of short attention span. And I think that it keeps people always thinking about only waiting 2 weeks to get another title instead of a whole month. So and what else did I want to touch on real quick? I think that was about it. I'm gonna go ahead and go in the chat real quick. Otaku Dan wants some slab talk. I can get a couple slabs. Should do the comic book champ says new Marvel relaunch should do well. I would agree with that. I think a lot of people, comic book champ, are excited about the new Marvel relaunch. I'm a little upset that they're not continuing with the legacy numbering, because to me it's another relaunch, it's another reboot, and it's probably the 6th one that they've done in the past 4 years. So it's just, people are just hype about it because it's another relaunch, another reboot. But I think that they should have stuck with the legacy number instead of starting again at number 1. But that's just my opinion. Rag says ASM 792 6,000 copies. Wow. That's actually not good, Rag. Back in the 80s and 90s, titles were actually getting canceled that sold 60,000 or less. They were actually on the verge of getting canceled. I remember talking to Jim Shooter about that when I saw him a few weeks back at the North Texas Comic Book Show in Dallas. They wanted books to be in the 100,000 or more comic book sales each month. And I actually think a lot of this low comic book sales is also because of the cost of how much it is to buy a book. Like, people don't want to spend $4 or $5 on a book that comes out every month. And so, of course, people are buying less. And of course, Marvel keeps jacking up the price to try to recoup what they're losing through previous months, previous years, and stuff like that. So it's just, I think they're just kind of defeating themselves. And I think that DC's business strategy right now is pretty smart. Even though you do get 2 books come out a month, people can buy a book that's only $2.99 instead of $3.99. So yeah, there's that. Comic Book Champ says DC's metal is kind of like Marvel's Venomized. Yeah, I've lost touch with DC's metal. There's just, There's just too many of them out there, man. There really is. And I think one of the and oh yeah, that's the thing I want to talk about. Okay, so we know that what's one of the most recent titles that DC come out with? What was it? Sins of the Father. I was reading. It's a 6-issue series. I think that you look at Batman versus TMNT. It's a 6-issue series. So I think they're being very, very smart, but coming out with titles by having a short 4 to 6 issue series instead of creating more event fatigue for people by having these massive events which go through all their titles. People just aren't going to stick with it. They're going to lose focus and their interests are going to go elsewhere. That's just my opinion. So I think that DC should continue to stick with the small issue miniseries. I guess the Metal series is doing good for them. I don't know. I haven't read a Metal book since I think Dark Knight's Metal #3. I think that was the last one that I read, and outside of that, I've just really been too busy. You guys tell me, are you guys reading every single Dark Knight's Metal crossover new character that comes out? The artwork blows me away. I definitely love the designs of the new characters, but as far as looking forward to reading another Dark Knight's Metal, it's just not there for me. So maybe it is for you. I don't know. Again, you guys tell me. What's up, J-Rod? J-Rod Ham is in the house. He says awake now, was drinking at noon. Dang, bro. You started early, didn't you? He started drinking at noon, man. Ooh. All right. There is help for that, J-Rod. Just putting that out there. Rag says, nice welcome. Strictly Comics is good. Like his Saturday shows better, but the Friday night thing is cool. Appreciate that, Rag. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Rags to Riches. I wanted to call Rag that. I want to call him Rags to Riches too. I just think of that whenever I see his name. Actually, since you guys are talking about that, I'm going to go ahead and prep you guys right now on Freestyle Friday episode number 8. I'm actually preparing to do a 1,400 subscriber giveaway. So I highly recommend that you guys stay tuned for that. I'm going to be putting up a video explaining what that's going to look like and how that's going to work out toward the end of the month. As soon as I cross 1,400 subscribers, probably like 1,410, 1,408, 1,412, somewhere around there. Reason being is because people do fall off and unsubscribe, and I don't want to start creating a 1,400 subscriber giveaway as soon as I hit 1,400 subscribers and then like 3 people unsubscribe. So, but anyways, keep an eye out for that because I think I'm going to have a slab as a part of that giveaway, maybe up to 2 slabs, depending on how many people we get to participate. But like I said, details will come soon, and I will explain to you guys what that's going to look like. Let me unshare my screen because I'm glad that you guys kind of reminded me about this because I actually did want to talk about this. I wanted to do a 1,000 subscriber giveaway, and a part of that was going to be, actually, I'm not going to talk about it because I'm still working on it. It's just going to be toward the end of the year. But I wanted to do a 1,000 subscriber giveaway. I wasn't able to do it the way that I had envisioned it, the way I had wanted to do it. So what I'm going to do now is just to try to, I don't know if I'd say appease subscribers and viewers as much as maybe to appease myself. But I'm going to do a 1,400 subscriber giveaway. And then toward the end of the year, I have something charitable that I'm still working on. I need to figure out all the details. And as we get closer to probably the middle of this year, I need to reach out to some people and see who I can get to participate in it, because it's going to bring the community together and it's going to help out a charity. So I'm really looking forward to that. But like I said, stay tuned because we're going to be having details about a 1,400 subscriber giveaway here real soon. Some of you guys wanted some slab talk. I'll go ahead and show off a couple of slabs. I'm not going to show everything because I'm actually putting together a haul video. I'll probably have it up Sunday, maybe. I got my first. Let me just go get it. Hold on, real second, guys. Okay, so here's my box I got from CGC yesterday. Ugh. And I got about 14 slabs in here. What's up, Jesse? Jesse's in the house. Appreciate you guys stopping by. Jennifer Courtney, what's up, Jennifer? Thank you so much for stopping by. I really appreciate it. I'm not going to show everything right now, but I guess I could show a couple things that I got. Let me see here. Oh, this one was actually interesting. I didn't expect this to come back the grade that it did. It's I'll show you guys. It's a Venom Lethal Protector #1. It's a 9.0, but it's a manufactured error. And if you look at Venom right here, the black outline was shifted over. If you look at the corner, it's not in place. As a matter of fact, if you look at what else can I point out? If you look at like right here, the font of the name of the title is shifted over. Even Venom right here, just the color is just all off. And a lot of people actually like stuff like these error. Even right here now in his own limited series, you see how it's just all shifted. I honestly thought that this should have came back about an 8.0 or 8.5. I pressed it as much as I could, but because this covers like a thicker stock paper, there's just some things that I just really couldn't get out. But it came back as a 9.0, and I'm gonna see what I can get for it. Because yeah, some people like stuff like that, especially when you look at the black cover, the black error cover. I mean, my God, that's got to be easily a $1,000, $2,000 book, depending on the grade. But I got that. This one I don't mind showing because I'm going to keep this one for myself. Let me see here. Make the contest Instagram friendly. Shout out to ASM Second Prince, first thing to sell this week. A Taco Dan, I'm not sure yet. I'm not sure, but I'll let you guys know. This one I don't mind showing because like I said, I'm going to keep this one for myself, but I got Transformers. I bought this raw off of eBay. I knew it was going to be 9.4 worse, maybe even a 9.6. And it came back as a 9.4. Really, the reason being is because the top is just really choppy. It didn't cut really smooth. And this is actually pretty common with this book. I'd seen a lot of other slabs. It's just not a nice clean cut up here. It's just really choppy. But I bought this raw off eBay. It was so clean. I went ahead and pressed it and just submitted it just to see what it would get. But I was looking for a 9.4 on eBay, and I think buying this raw, sending in to get it slabbed, I probably saved maybe 10 or 20, probably like more like $20, maybe 25, than if I would have just bought a copy already slabbed. So buying the raw copy, pressing it, cleaning it, submitting it, I probably saved about $20, $25 than if I would have just bought it outright raw at a 9.4. So, but I'm a huge Transformer fan. I'm really happy to have this in my collection. Maybe one day I'll try to get to a 9.6 or 9.8, but I'm pretty satisfied with a 9.4, so I'm not really super, in like a big rush or anything like that to get a higher grade. Because I do plan on doing a video kind of showing my Transformer toy and comic collection. I know those are not like big. Those don't usually get like a whole lot of views or anything like that. So, but I'm going to probably do something along those lines. And what else can I show? Boom. I don't want to spoil and show everything. I'll show this one. I've already showed one on my Instagram. I'll show a different one. This one I just kind of threw in there just to see what it would come back as. I got this book. Let me show you guys. The Smurfs, first appearance of the Smurfs in comic books, #1. And a 9.8. This is probably like $100 to $120 book. It didn't come back as a 9.8, and I'm pretty sure I know why. I've taken CGC pretty lightly at their grading, but to be honest with you, they were pretty accurate this time around. But it is a newsstand copy, first appearance of the Smurfs. I know there's not really going to be a lot of people interested in this book, especially at a 9.4, but I'll figure out something to do with it, because some people, people do like this stuff, and there's a lot of Smurf fans, and I'm just kind of showing this because it kind of came out around the same era as Transformers did back in the early 80s. So that's one of the books that I got. And then the rest, I think I'll just show or Sunday when I do a video. Well, I'll show another one real quick. This one I actually sold already on Instagram. Where is it at? This one I actually sold already on Instagram. 9.4 Wolverine #1. These did not come back at the grade that I was really expecting. I was really expecting all of these to come back as 9.8s, but they didn't. And I talked to the guy who I work with, and he kind of explained to me why. And after talking to him, I actually agreed with what he was saying. He's got a really strong eye for detail, and he was pointing out things that I just kind of overlooked. I usually overlook manufacturing errors, defects, stuff like that, because typically grading companies don't really dock you for that. And I know it depends on what exactly it is and where the specific spot of the book that it's at. But it didn't come back as a 9.8. I posted it on Instagram, and within like 15 or 20 minutes, somebody wanted it, and he already paid for it. And I'm actually shipping this out first thing in the morning. So that's already sold and accounted for. And I think the rest I'll just show you guys later, because like I said, I got a lot of slabs to get through. And just another reason for you to follow me on Instagram, because what I will probably be doing is posting these on Instagram first before I actually do a video. And I'll probably have a lot of them as for sale for anybody who's interested. Some of them may be raffled. Some of them may be used in my 1,400 subscriber giveaway. I don't know. You just have to stay tuned. You just have to follow me to see what I end up doing. So let me see what you guys are saying in the chat. Taco Dancing, what's the starting bid? Yeah, Comic Book Champ, I like submitting them also. It's definitely addicting. That's for sure. I'm trying to get in the habit now of submitting 12 to 14 books once a month, just to kind of keep this cycle coming. Classic Transformer, so nostalgic. Yeah, it is, man. It really is. Did I see the 300 swipe we did, Rag? Let me see here. Didn't feel for 35. Not really sure what Jesse's talking about specifically. Let me see. Appreciate that, Nerd Vision. I wanted higher grades, but I didn't get as high grades as I was hoping for. So I just have to suck it up and deal with the grades that I got and try to move these books. Yeah, they do get really picky, Comic Book Champ. They get really picky, and I think that the guy who I work with was saying that some of the grades that I got were kind of like gift grades, he calls them, because even some of the grades that I got, he didn't agree with, especially like some of the 9.6s that I got. He was like, they shouldn't have been 9.6s, but they were. I've been told that CGC and CBCS has done some hiring to get more graders in. and that could also be a part of why they're being more strict on their grading. Both companies. Jesse says, if you research eBay for brain trust variant, they'll do all the covers. Oh, he's okay. Let's see. Chat room altogether. Show them. Nah, man. Like I said, I'll have a video up probably Sunday. I want to try to get. I got to get it shot soon because I want to get this 9.4 in the video, and I told the guy that I would get it in the mail tomorrow. So I'm probably gonna have to shoot a video first thing in the morning, but I won't get it uploaded till Sunday. So, but that's it, you guys. I want to thank everybody for watching. Kind of a short show, and I will be back next week with some free giveaways. I'll be back next week with my new time slot, 8:30 Central, 9:30 Eastern. And I will maybe even come back with some raffles. I'm not really sure. Let me kind of ponder on that and think about that. Maybe we'll get some slabs in a raffle. We'll see. And I'll probably be doing some things on Instagram too. So check me out for that. But as always, make sure you like, share, comment, subscribe. I always appreciate it. Check out everybody else and what they're doing in the community. Keep God first in your life and enjoy your comic books. Until next Friday, you guys have a great weekend, and I'll talk to you then.